Germany had nothing like it. At first, in World War I, the battlefield suddenly changed. Britain brought a new monster to the front line, the tank. But in 1918, they finally answered with a strange, box-shaped giant, the A7V. This is the story of Germany's first tank, how it was built, how it fought, and why it quickly when British tanks first appeared in 1916. German soldiers were shocked. These metal beasts could cross trenches, crush barbed wire, and ignore machine gun fire at first. German commanders thought tanks were just a temporary experiment. They focused on building better guns and anti-tank weapons instead of their own tank. But as more Allied tanks rolled across the Western Front, one thing became clear. Germany needed an armored in 1917. The German War Ministry ordered the development of a new assault vehicle. The project was given the name A7V, taken from the committee that supervised it. The design looked very different from British rhomboid tanks. Instead of a long, low body, the A7V was tall, boxy, and heavy. It was built on a track chassis, with a huge armored house built on top. The armor was thick for its time, up to about 30 millimeters in the front. This gave good protection against rifles and machine guns, but not against heavy artillery. Inside, it was crowded, hot, and extremely noisy. The crew could hardly see anything outside through the small vision slits. The A7V needed a huge crew, usually 18 men or more. 2 drivers, a commander, gunners, loaders, mechanics, and extra infantry all packed inside. Power came from 2 gasoline truck engines, each producing around 100 horsepower. Together, they moved this 30-ton monster at about 10 to 12 kilometers per hour on roads, and often much slower in mud, for weapons. The A7V was very heavily armed for its time. In the front was a 57 millimeters cannon, used against enemy positions and sometimes tanks. On the sides were 6 machine guns, covering almost every angle. On paper, the firepower was impressive. In reality, aiming and coordinating, all those weapons inside a shaking metal box was very unlike later German tanks in World War II. The A7V was never built in large numbers. Germany focused more on captured British tanks, which they repaired and reused. In total, only around 20 A7V tanks were completed. That means this machine was extremely rare, even during the war. Because of this, the A7V never became a game changer. It was more like an experimental step. Germany learning what a tank could and could not do.
Yes, the A7V did see combat, and even took part in one of the first tank versus tank battles in history. In April 1918, near the town of Villers-Bretonneux in France, German A7Vs met British Mark IV tanks. Both sides struggled with poor visibility, mechanical breakdowns, and rough terrain. Some A7Vs performed well, using their cannon and machine guns to push back infantry. Others broke down or got stuck in craters and trenches. Soldiers often complained about the rough ride, the poor suspension, and how easy it was for the A7V to get stuck in soft ground. But when it worked, it was terrifying for enemy troops who had never seen a German tank before. So what were the abilities of the A7V? Strengths: a thick armor against small arms, a very strong firepower for 1918, a protected infantry as it advanced. Weaknesses: a very limited numbers, a poor cross-country performance, a overcrowded crew space, are unreliable in bad terrain. In short, it was powerful but clumsy. A dangerous experiment. Not a polished, the A7V did not win World War I for Germany. In fact, it arrived too late, in too small numbers, to change the war at all. but its true importance is different. It showed German engineers how to build armored vehicles, mount heavy guns on tracks, air and coordinate large crews inside one machine. When Germany later designed famous tanks like the Panzer IV, Panther, and Tiger in World War II, the lessons from the A7V, both good and bad, were part of that story. Today, only one original A7V survives, restored as a museum piece. It looks strange and outdated, but it represents the beginning of German tank history. From the muddy trenches of 1918 to the high-tech battlefields of today, German tanks have come a long way, and it all started with this boxy giant, the A7V. If you enjoyed this look inside Germany's first tank, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and tell me which tank you want to see next.